welcome back to the Mrs. Best Reviews channel. We are here with renowned author James Jackson from Watchyomouthreviews. I feel like he hates when I do that, but if you read his book, it's actually good.
No, please, no, gloat. Because I need motivation. I need motivation to get me back out there. So don't please.
Oh, he knows. I'm going to motivate him. Before the book came, I was motivating him. Just write it. Well, I'm going to keep motivating him. The thorn in his ass that gives love. That is me. So we're here to go over Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, season 11, episode 13. Apologies for those who watched my Love and Hip Hop Miami episode. I did not announce the episode number, but I didn't feel they were worthy of me doing so. Anywho, we're going to get into the recap. We're just going to get started because Love and Hip Hop is all over the place. Just as a disclaimer, because my husband suggested that I do this going forward, discussing this season, we are going to have to discuss racism. We are going to have to discuss racial slurs that are used against African-American people. This is something you're not comfortable with or you don't want to be a part of or watch or is triggering. You know, now is your opportunity to see your way toward whatever door you would like to find. So I think I did that right. Anywho, y'all know my channel's new, so disclaimers make me nervous. So we see Bambi, and she has a single release. For those who remember Bambi from Basketball Wives, you know that Bambi is a rapper from Compton. This was like a big part of her public persona and identity for a long time. And then she dropped it. She was in hot tubs and she found somebody foolish enough to put a ring on that finger. And, you know, when the marriage got shifty, she suddenly had got pregnant 3 times. And, you know, that prevented her from creating music, she says, even though I see plenty of female rappers having babies and married and making music. Anywho, I felt the song was weak. I've seen Bambi rap on a few occasions. It's not bad, but I haven't like thought like, ooh, this is just weak. But the song that we saw this time, it was weak as hell.
She just can't find her key and her tone is
cadence.
Awkward.
She did not have cadence. That's kind of what that is with rap. She definitely didn't have it. And then the lyrics were bad. I felt like the beauty in writing is you can say something without directly saying it sometimes, especially in music. And she was just like, I don't even remember what she was singing about, but she was
I don't remember either, but it reminded me. Husband. So if y'all don't know this about Rasheeda, her Marry Me song, on the album version, it features Toya Wright. Yes. And when you listen to Toya Wright rap, you're like, Rasheeda, why you get your friend to do this? This is what we be talking about. Why you embarrass this lady like this? That's how I feel about Bambi in this song. Bambi, why you do this?
Yeah, and the thing is, Bambi can rap. She's been doing it for years, so it's not like she can't rap. But this was just a horrible song, and it's just, it seemed like she's trying to profit off of her divorce in any way possible. Because about a year or 2 years ago, when she was rapping in the studio with Scrappy supporting her before the divorce, it was much better than what the fuck this was.
Yeah, I want women to stop doing this just because Taylor Swift has the most impeccable career imaginable, selling records about relationships that have failed her. That does not mean that we as people can do the same. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to put that out there. We can't do that same stuff because oftentimes when you are a Black woman, 9 out of 10, it's your fault. No matter what that man did, he could have cheated, robbed you, stabbed you. You did something to make him do it. That's how society sees it. White women are always protected, which is why it always works for them. It does not work for us. So even if the lyrics were great and phenomenal, Bambi still would have had a hard time.
Yeah, I think she would have. Especially because she took such a break from music without saying anything. I apologize, y'all. I had to get stuff together. James is actually, he lives in the land of hurricanes, so he will be going on and off camera because it protects the integrity of the live. They can hear you clear, but we can't always see you. Anywho.
Absolutely. I'll come on camera every now and then when she says something that pisses me off, which is I know what's coming, so that's why. So I'll be back.
Lord help us. So, speaking of which, to all the people who are watching me, if you like the recaps, because my highest viewed recaps are the ones that involve James from Watch Your Mouth Reviews, I encourage you guys to look in the description of the video or type in Watch Your Mouth Reviews on YouTube and subscribe to him as well. You will find even more recaps that involve him and I for shows like Housewives of Atlanta, The Housewives of Salt Lake City, Bell Collective, Married to Medicine, he'll be picking up, Housewives of Potomac. So I encourage you guys to head over that way. He also covers the pop culture parts of things, such as what we see from these celebrities when they're off camera. I don't cover them on my channel because I don't have the patience for that, but he does. So I encourage everyone to go over to
And
watch
also
them.
to add, I will get my horror movie reviews going. I am doing my best, y'all. Like, I have to figure out that app because I tested it. I just don't like my sound. So I have to figure out either this mic or or have to stop being cheap and get a camera. But that's what I wanted to say.
Anywho, he does have horror movie reviews. You can watch some of those before you get more, maybe a little bit, but at the very least, they're good. My husband liked it. So there's that. So we're going to get back to Love and Hip Hop. James's channel is on the screen. We want to definitely work and collaborate with other channels. It helps both of our channels grow. So I encourage everyone to do that. Anywho, Kirk and Rasheeda, Yandy, and Mendices, they go hiking somewhere in Atlanta. Georgia is fucking beautiful. It's another place I have not been. Georgia is beautiful. Wherever they went to hike, and it looks similar to maybe where Rennie, Rucci, and Carly went a few episodes ago. That waterfall, okay? Go check out the travel playlist on my channel, y'all. I love me a waterfall. I love me. There's a reason I keep braids in my head because I'm that girl. I'm jumping in the ocean. My hair is getting wet. I am the friend on vacation who loves adventures. I thought where they were was beautiful. So they start the episode discussing the comment that Erica Mena made. Another disclaimer. Here comes that slur. So in the previous episode, Erica Mena called Spice a blue monkey. She said it over and over with lots of passion and hate in her voice. She also says she wished Spice would have died on that operating table. And they discussed the comment, which, by the way, before I lose the thought, Spice, you're still trying to be mad at Carly, who actually showed up for your surgery, when Erica Mena, who's friends with Shekinah and all these people, is openly saying she wished you would have died, but you're more mad at Carly. This is why people is not siding with Spice like that, even though it's an issue of race, because the way that she's picking and choosing to be upset is fucking off.
I'm glad you said that because I felt like I was watching The Twilight Zone. I'm like, how are you more mad at Carly? And like,
this woman wished you
it doesn't
dead.
make any sense. Like, it's literally mind blowing. This is why I'm still mad at Erica. Y'all don't get me wrong. Erica is fucked up for that because she has black children, regardless of how ever this looks. She has black children. And I fear for
black
those children.
Men, those black dicks that you like, Erica, are they monkeys just hopping around up in you?
I wasn't finna go in there. But
Oh,
what I'm saying is, Spice, come on now. Like, I can't advocate for, your appearance and your innocence in this, even though you weren't innocent. But I'm talking about the monkey comment. I cannot advocate for you when you do goofy shit like this. That does not make sense to anybody with a brain.
Yeah, so we're going to actually go over the comments and the opinions, something new I'm going to do. We're going to give our opinion on the opinions of others later in the video. But yeah, this is why I know some people are like, there should always be zero tolerance for racism. Yes. Like, regardless what Spice did, Erica calling her a monkey out of left field. Wishing someone dead just because they say your son doesn't like you, but she did not say your son was ugly. She didn't say your son is slow. She didn't say your son is misbehaved. She just said he doesn't like you. And honestly, the boy is smart to not like Erica Mena. Now that we look and know, what the hell's going on.
And that's the thing. I wish
Erica wish someone dead. All the people.
I wish Erica. Yeah, I wish Erica. Because see, y'all, that's not the same thing. Now, if Erica would have thrown back, well, at least I have my children. You don't have yours. Now, if Erica would have did that, then I probably wouldn't be as mad. It would have been on Erica's side. But
Yeah, I
here's the
think we
thing:
all
I
would have.
cannot. They're both wrong to me. I don't
Yeah.
like either one.
They're
But
both
I
wrong,
cannot
but
negate that.
racism is way worse. Way worse. And to those people who keep saying, if you have a kid, all bets are off. Is that what you're going to teach your kid? Hey,
Tamar.
throw away your career. Oh, Tamar clarified her comments again, by the way. And I was like Tamar clarified, like all bets
And
are
I'm
off.
gonna need
And
and
at the
Tamar,
same
I'm gonna need you to
time,
do this because you're getting on my nerves with this shit. Think about your thought before it comes out of your mouth. So that way you don't have to go back and double down and say what you actually meant.
also Tamar, maybe don't comment on issues of racial slurs while you with a white man who likes to use our terms and slurs because he's a rapper, who also has a job that requires him to do and be able to lie in a way that's very comfortable. Be quiet, Tamar, and figure out how to get your edges to grow. That's what I will say. Anywho,
Well, damn.
I
She
mean,
said what
y'all
she
may
said.
think I'm mean, but Tamar Braxton, I'm a huge Braxton Family Values fan. I'm a huge Tamar Braxton fan. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? Have you seen your child or your husband, Tamar? Like, what the hell are you doing? Or your ex-husband,
My
whatever the fuck he
see,
is.
my thing is this, and see, yeah, I'm a Tamar fan, but I'm telling you, I'm a Tamar fan that goes back to 2000 when she had her first album, and I actually know 3 of the songs. I'm a
Oh,
Tamar Braxton song when Jada tried to rip off her vocals on Kingdom Come. I am that big of a Tamar fan. But what I'm not about to do with Tamar is sit up here and be goofy with her and say the most outlandish shit that she said on that radio show.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. Same thing with Just Hilarious. Um, I kind of expected Just Hilarious to have an ignorant take, but I think she's just happy people aren't focused on the fact that, they always say she looks like a man. I don't think she does, but I don't know. I think the wrong celebrities keep commenting on it, but we're good into all of that. So they discussed the comments that Mena made, referring to Spice as a black monkey. They also bring up the fact that Mena wished someone dead, which is like, I don't care how mad I've been at somebody. I don't wish nobody dead. And if you do, then you have something wrong with you. Unless you out here touching on kids, raping people, doing all types of crazy stuff. I don't know. I don't wish people for dead. I just don't. I just don't. But, everyone is different. Basically, Kirk spit facts, and it take a lot on this channel for me to agree with Rasheeda and Kirk. Y'all know it does. But Kirk spit facts and made the comment, maybe Erica thought it was okay because their children are black, but just because you fuck black men and have black children, that does not make or give you a pass to say what you want
See,
about
here's the thing.
different races. So
I'm gonna say this because I'm a black man, and I don't even think that's okay for me to even say that. So, and there's a lot of things that I feel like it's not okay for me to say. I don't say the N word. I don't say, like, in terms of like calling women bitchs. I don't do that. Like, I just don't. So, in terms of that, no, I don't think that's okay to call black people to call each other monkeys. I just don't. That's
it's
just me.
not okay. And I was glad to see Yandy mentioned the comment about death because it was oversighted, but I also appreciated Yandy bringing up the history of the term monkey and how when they were trying to get into slavery at the very beginning of it, they thought that it was okay to use black people because we look like monkeys and animals. It's not okay. It may not be important to other races, but I think for black people, if we want others to respect us and to stop presenting their biases and prejudices against us, that we have to defend and hold each other accountable, but we also have to stand up for each other. And it's just not okay. It's not okay. I was happy to see that even though Kirk and Rasheeda don't have any brain cells when it comes to marriage, that even they understand that what Mena did was fucked up. And Rasheeda is the lightest complexioned woman outside of Rennie Rucci on this cast. Now, if she can understand it, I don't understand how the rest of them can't. But if you notice, the seasoned older people on this cast and the ones who have actual education such as Yandy. They understand it's wrong. Everybody else has this hood mentality of talk about my kid, then all bets are off. So if the same thing happens to your kid, you encourage your kid to make a racial slur just to upset someone. This is what they meant in preschool, everyone, with 2 wrongs. Don't make a what? A right.
You know, we can also make that argument, like, because you know how people are very, like, almost cautious and, like, I would say, like, I'm trying to think of, like, the real correct term, but when, like, someone who is not Black says these things and people are more aggressive and sensitive to those things. But y'all have to understand, as Black people, when we say all bets are off, when you're talking about children, then we're giving the permission for other ethnicities to also feel that exact same way when we miscorrectly call them something that, you know, is racially motivated. So we
It's
have to be
not
careful
always
to say
about
that.
you and your funky ass kids, okay, people. It's not always about that. It's all sometimes it's about something bigger. As Black people, we should all be concerned about each other's children. It takes a village. That's one of our fucking sayings. Hello. But you know, you're giving other people, like, you should never authorize racism to be okay. Because once you do it once, which some of this cast is doing, then what you're gonna do is somebody Chinese or someone Caucasian makes the same comment. We can't be more mad at them than we are at Erica. We just cannot. We should keep that same energy. And the same energy that we would have towards a white person if they made this comment should be kept towards Erica. It's not excusing Spice's behavior, but at the same time, it doesn't excuse racism, which is intolerable.
It doesn't, and we've seen this also happen with a Latino woman calling a Black girl monkey. We will not forget Evelyn Lozada did this to OG on Basketball Wives on social media.
She did.
So, and Evelyn was never reprimanded for that, because what she did was she tried to say that that's not what she was saying in a racially derogatory term. But we all know,
because it was very similar. There's no
absolutely
way to
it was
call
similar.
A monkey who's Black without it being racial or derogatory. That's one.
But keep in mind, you guys, this started with Michelle Obama. So we not finna sit up here and act like people are unaware of this term. We had politicians and other people in social media influencers calling Michelle Obama an ape and saying that she looks like one. We all saw this. So this is not something that's new. And I want people to stop acting like that. Like, oh my gosh. Like, it's
Michelle Obama could have done the most, but she just stayed that ape that was married to the president of the United States, a fine one at that. So
yeah, you know what she did? She laughed at all of the newspaper printouts that printed her face as an ape and his as like this pencil head. She laughed at that. She thought it was funny, because that's what you do. You try to make, you know, the most of situations, because you know in the end they're gonna get theirs. And see, and that's what I wish Erica would have did. Is like, let Spice look stupid. Let her look stupid.
In the words of Michelle Obama, when they go low, you go high. Like, stop. That's the perfect. It's just perfect for the situation. But basically, Yandy also states that if she were a friend of Mena's, like a very close friend, she would hold them accountable, referencing Sierra and Bambi, which we will get into that later. We find out that Kirk is planning a birthday party for Rasheeda. They want people to come. So the next thing we see is the hater of our people. She hates us because she ain't us. Miss, I want to be you, so I'm going to put on foundation 4 shades too dark. I make Tubi movies, and I think I'm somebody. Is filming a show, season 2, for Hush, which I guess comes on All Black. Never heard of it. I don't watch All Black. I know WeTV owns it, but I watch WeTV, not All Black. But I'm also, I do have cable, so that helps. I know not everybody has cable, and I know All Black plays a lot of those WeTV shows on there for free. So I do get that. But Erica has a show she's doing. And basically, I'm just going to read my notes as they are. Erica has no argument for her behavior, even though she thinks she does. And I'm not sure why they continue to air her after that. This is a cast full of Black people and producers. What the hell are you thinking, Mona? What are you doing, Mona Scott? You done took it a little bit too far, and I'm holding you accountable because you started this shit. It's not okay. It's just not. So Erica gets her little camera time, and she's still trying to bring up Safaree and like refer to him as a deadbeat in Subway. It seems like she's trying. I don't think that Erica Mena took accountability. I see a lot of people online like she took accountability in her scene. No, she didn't. She said, first she was like, I might have said something that was, not okay, but she brought up my son. First she says that. That's not accountability. You know what the fuck you said, bitch. No one just thinks to call someone a monkey out of anger.
See, my thing is this, and see, I probably would have looked at her differently as she said, "Oh, I cannot believe I had said that. Like, I cannot believe
if she owned
in
it,
that moment. Like, I am so embarrassed. Because I don't expect her to apologize to Spice, because Spice was fucked up too. But I would expect her to say, "Dang, like I shouldn't have said that. Like, I can't believe I am embarrassed." And the apology that she should give is to the people in the Black community who, could be
I
referenced as the
messaged
same
her
thing.
on her Instagram. I said, I hope you apologize to the Black community.
I ain't doing all that. I
sent a message because I'm like, what the hell? Obviously, the fans are going to hold her accountable. The producers are going to hold her accountable. So I'm just like, let me try and do my part. I'm not going to harass nobody, but I was like, I just sent a message. You should apologize to the Black community, or at least your cast members, because it's a cast full of African-American people. Erica did not apologize. She basically made excuses and then goes on to say, I don't know what I said. I was so mad. You know what you said, and you know that it was felt. But maybe she did not, maybe because she said this, she realizes it's bad. I think she knows it's bad and didn't know how to react. See, I'm still trying to make excuses for the girl. In the words of E.13, when he said of the Black is Beautiful song, shout out to E.13 from the Bay Area. What did he say about Black people? We the most forgiving human beings on the planet. Maybe we need to be less fucking forgiving, because look at the shit that is getting us. Like, if you think to call someone a monkey based on how they look, something is wrong with you. Just like Spice, as we'll get to later, calling Bambi a giraffe. Some things you just don't say, but the monkey is still worse than the damn giraffe. Okay, because a giraffe doesn't have racial connotations. Ain't nobody.
It doesn't, but at the same time, I'm just like, okay, for someone to have something so insensitive done to you, you would think that you would not project that same behavior onto somebody else. I get y'all were in the heat, and we'll get to that. But I don't know. I just feel like
it makes me wonder
any kind of animal.
I need Rich Dollars, Bow Wow, every ex that Erica's have, Safaree too. She get mad at y'all when y'all going off and start calling you all types of N-words and monkeys.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I believe she definitely does the Evelyn Lozada. I absolutely do. Because
everybody's talking about her comment towards Spice, and it made me think when we saw Mena on the screen with her fake ass lack of empathy, it made me think like, damn, everybody's so busy getting at Safaree, because a lot of people are like, oh, you did a mom like that. She was pregnant and vulnerable. You did this. But it's like, now I'm looking at it like, what you do to him when you mad? Because your mouth seemed reckless and you can't seem to keep a relationship, Mena, separate from the racial stuff. So I'm like, it just makes me look at stuff any kind of way. Anywho, fast forward to Rasheeda's birthday party. And at Rasheeda's birthday party, we see a bunch of people. Spice and Khaotic show up, and we find out Khaotic had surgery, but he didn't really actually tell us what the hell his surgery was for.
Yeah.
But I was just like, shouldn't you be in bed?
Bed? Yeah, that was my first thought. I was like, well, why aren't you in the bed? Or what doctor? How long ago was this surgery?
They couldn't. Did you not have a house to film in that was big enough? Like, what's going on? Anywho, so whatever the hell, Khaotic shows up. At least he showed up. I like his energy for the show. It keeps things a little lighter. But basically, Sierra shows up, making everything about her, making Geminis look bad. Y'all got to remember, half of this cast is Geminis. Rasheeda, Sierra, Amy Luciani. I believe 2 others on this cast are Geminis. And I'm like, this is why you can't put us in the same space. I'm a Gemini, May 22nd. Hey, I'm Taurus Gemini too, so be careful when I'm angry. But Yeah. Stop putting
Which was
so many
funny is because
Geminis.
I was supposed to be born on that day.
What? May 22nd? That's funny. What the hell?
Yeah, like my mom said I came like a month early. And it was
Dang.
crazy is I have a Gemini spirit,
You do.
but I am very much a Taurus. Like I understand like my stubbornness, but as far as having a Gemini spirit, I have it's not that we have two different personality, like Geminis have two different personalities or a split personality. It's you use both parts of your brains. Like I've
Yes.
explained this before on this channel. You use
That's
both
why
parts of
Renee
your
is
brains
funny.
that
So cool.
one is logical is and one is eccentric. So you have to I'm all going on science on you. I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, that's just what it is. So they're using the part of the brain that's eccentric because they don't know how to circle back to being
That's
logical.
why we be tripping when we're mad because I do. And I talk to my husband. I'm like, I think entirely differently. Any Gemini I tell you we're extremely analytical and we invented the game, bitch. But at the same time, we're not mean. Anyone who's experienced the bad side of a Gemini, I guarantee you did something to them. I don't care what nobody say. The same with Cancers because they're sensitive. But if you piss off a Cancer, they will cry while stabbing you. So be careful. Anywho, not to get off, we should do like an astrological live one day. I think the signs
I'm
would be
down because I would love to do it.
Would you? I've been thinking of it. Ooh, and I know a philosophy major who's like really into that. She would be good. Shout out to B Money, Bree. Love you. Anywho, moving on. So basically, Sierra shows up. She's making everything about her. She's like, my birthday was yesterday, but no one gave you a party. So shut up while you're at hers about that. No one cares. She basically brings up the fact that nobody wished her a happy birthday and that, you know, she feels Spice didn't wish her a happy birthday because of everything that happened with Erica Mena. Here's what I don't like. Sierra and Bambi clearly click up and do the high school bullshit, right? And like their friendship seems very high school to me, which is why it's not lasted. And they click up, they do this bullshit, and then it doesn't make sense because it's like y'all really expect the cast to be telling you happy birthday when the whole cast has been talking, obviously, because of how the show started. The cast knows about the comments with Mena. Amy knew, and she's a new booty on the show. Rennie knew. Everybody knew and had heard of these comments. So I find it very hard to believe that Erica Mena and Sierra knew nothing about it. Now, especially Sierra, because Sierra is very close to many of the cast. Most of this cast just deals with Bambi because she was with Scrap. Nobody seems to really have a serious friendship with Bambi. Let's call it what it is, outside of Sierra. So it's very weird that y'all be expecting to be left alone in certain situations because of your friend, but at the same time, you done beefed, tried to make a problem with Khaotic. Bambi done went off on Khaotic the first episode. Like y'all done gotten at other cast members like, oh, well, be careful. Y'all literally have gotten at people just for acknowledging Scrappy's existence, but then y'all bitches can't answer some questions about Erica Mena, who you're known to be extremely close with. Of course, everybody's looking at you and what you're going to do. So basically, Sierra acts like she did not know. She basically says that Erica Mena, when she talked to her about the issue, she more so talked to Bambi, which everyone's clarifying, in that she didn't know about the comment of the black monkey. All right. So I'm like, okay. So Sierra finds out and she seems like that's not okay, you know. But it seems like the cast and everybody kind of had to be like, you're cool with that. I don't think if all those people were around when she found out about it, because Kirk was there, Rasheeda was there, Yandy was there, and somebody else. I don't think if those people were not around that Sierra would have reacted that way. Y'all been so loyal for this girl to where you showing up to places that nobody really wants you at to go off on her ex. But now suddenly you just don't know and are surprised. I think Sierra knew. Like we just said, Geminis use both sides of the brain, are extremely analytical. She knew. She fucking knew.
No, she was being calculated. Like that's the thing about Sierra. She was being because that's something also Gemini's could be is very calculated. Y'all use that part of your mind.
I am calculated as fuck. Everything I do, everything I say, I have purpose for it. And I have no
Absolutely.
problem
And the
admitting
thing
it.
about people, a lot of people don't understand people with calculated mindsets. And I
Mm.
tell people all the time, it may sound wrong, but believe me, it's not. It's just they think calculated versus emotions, because she has to understand, if she's not filming with the rest of the cast, her only other option is to film with Erica. So she has to be calculated because she wants a paycheck. So of course she's not going to immediately, even though the calculation saying, "Oh, that's fucked up," but I need to make my money because I need to make sure this could be gone tomorrow, and that's okay.
Sierra's fucked
Yeah.
up, but she was successful in her business when she first came on to Love and Hip Hop. She had been saying,
Right.
I've seen her and stuff. She's been known in the industry and stuff for many years. She's a businesswoman. She may be stupid as hell when it comes to dating, but she understands
And I
how
think that
and
that's
what
a
to do and what it
Gemini
takes.
fault, because not very many Geminis know how to separate the two, business and personal. A lot of the times they connect it together, or they'll
Oh
pay
yeah, I
attention
used
to
to
one.
struggle with that,
Yeah,
and my husband had a problem with it for years at a job because I would work,
because you're not
work.
balancing. That's
Yeah,
the problem, when you're not balancing, the business accolades versus, your personal endeavors. That's where you have to kind of create a balance in both. It's like, and I tell people, make it physical. Buy you a scale, put
hmm
10 beans on one and put 8 beans on another until it balances out. That's how you trick your mind to know that everything has to be balanced. And scales don't cost that much, y'all. It really doesn't. Like $20.
Anywho, I love it because that was actually a good way to explain it. Because that's something most Geminis I've met struggle with, that balance. I struggled with that for like 5 years of my marriage. But now I figured it out and he's much happier. So there's that. But
That's
I'm
good.
that
I'm glad you
person
did.
that will work. I had to go to therapy to figure out like you can't, like you have to prioritize the guy, not the need for living. Anywho, so basically we see that whole situation. The party, what else happens at this party? So Spice clarifies in front of Sierra and says she said that Erica's Mena's son did not like him, which to all of you, so y'all have to be clear. Because I know some people are like, you talk about my kids, all bets are off. She didn't talk about her kid. She talked about her parenting. She did not say your son is good or bad, so on and so forth. She said he don't like you. That doesn't say anything bad about the son. That shows that the son has common sense. And the other thing for me is her son is 16 now, we know from Erica. 16-year-olds aren't exactly going to be excited to have a mom with titties stiffer than this ashtray. A 16-year-old is going to be embarrassed to have a mom that's considered a MILF for that all their friends want to fuck. I'm just saying it. I'm sorry. I'm going to use personal examples because I don't want to, talk about nobody else. But my husband's mom, shout out to Kathy. We love you, Mom Cat. Beautiful woman. I met my husband. His mom was like 48, I believe. That lady looked like she was 21. And I'm not bullshitting you. Anybody who's met her, whatever the fuck, can say this. He has an attractive mama. My mom, also an attractive woman. You know what I'm saying? My little brothers, I have 2 younger brothers. Their friends used to constantly make jokes about wanting to fuck my mother and me. So I was like, ooh, this is awkward. So a 16-year-old with a mom that's acting a fool on TV, has acted a fool on TV his whole entire life. A mom that has also actively not raised him while she was running around being a video vixen in videos and stuff, trying to make her career. That's hard. I can imagine that her being on the show makes it more difficult. I don't think that what Spice said was bad against the son. Anybody who has teenagers, especially teenage boys with an attractive lady for a mom, that could be a little bit difficult depending on friends and teasing. Some teens don't want to be noticed or seen. He's 16. You don't know what the fuck's going through his mind. Hell, he doesn't know what's going through his mind. But I don't think that what Spice said was getting at the son as a person is what I'm trying to say. So Spice clarifies that it shows that she basically did not mean it to talk about the boy and says she didn't say nothing bad. I'm kind of glad she stood in that. From what we saw in the scene, I don't think that Sierra was gonna, I don't know what she could have done, but I think she did all that she could do. I'll say that. Did you need to comment or can I move on?
You move on. No, move on,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. So Carly Red shows up to this party and she basically says that she can love Spice from a distance and that she just gonna go with the flow. Good. That's all I have to say on that. Good job,
Right, me too.
Carly.
Good job. Thank you.
Like, I don't care if y'all was Bonnie and Clyde, Carly. If somebody don't want you around, it's just like I don't go nowhere. I'm not wanted. It's very simple. Then you feel good. So I'm glad to see Carly kind of getting her shit together and coming around. Kirk announces at this party that he's going to be taking everyone to the Bahamas. I wrote in my notes, y'all, this is given, Rasheeda is best friends with Candy Burris, who is a housewife. This is given Rasheeda is trapped in Love and Hip Hop because don't nobody else want to hire her because it's not really interesting her and her life. And so they tried to say, hey, production, we're on MTV now. We should do a cast trip like the Housewives. Did that give you Housewives, James Jackson, if you're still here? Because
I'm still here. Let me explain something to you. MTV do not pay for no lavish ass goddamn trips. They had a sponsor pay for this shit because I know how MTV get down. MTV don't pay for this. If you're not on the real world, if you have not generated at least 5 or 6 years of income for MTV, they're not going to pay for no lavish ass trip. Jersey Shore barely got, when they revamped their show, they barely got it. Like, they went to Miami. So come on.
And they still only traveling in America.
Yeah, it took them 4 seasons to go to Italy it took them 4 years to go to Italy. So come on, we're not going to play these games like MTV is just so generous. They had a sponsor, I'm pretty sure. And no, it does not give me Real Housewives of Atlanta. It gives, we know how to get the cash, loosened up. Let's take them to the Bahamas. We need a trip. Mona worked the shit out, and that's what happened. We're not finna do this.
We'll talk about this trip too. Because I was just like, Love and Hip Hop don't need a cast trip. Y'all do not need to go to more countries and embarrass the Black people so that more people feel like they can be calling us slurs like monkeys and stuff like Erica. We need to keep their ass in the same fucking city that they belong. And I stand by that. They can go to Atlanta, New York, or Miami, up or down, okay? But I don't want these people traveling. I would be worried having them to travel. The housewives barely act like they have sense on vacation. So I can imagine what the fuck this cast gonna do. And in the Airbnb, Rasheeda and Kirk, they kept saying, we got a house in the Bahamas. No, you didn't. People have watched TV long enough for y'all to stop trying to play in our faces like y'all own a house in the Bahamas. When y'all in that same house.
And then when you actually look at the house, you like,
you didn't decorate this. I was going to bring that up. We will bring that up later.
Yes, please.
Anywho, we see Rasheeda after the trip and she's like, thanks, babe. We still don't know what Kirk does for a living, but anywho, he went from your adopted father to your husband to your manager to the career that flopped to, I guess, your partner with all these stores. Anywho, so moving it on along, she FaceTimes Bambi, tells her to come on the trip. Of course, Bambi is not tripping. They should be worried about Sierra and Erica Mena because Bambi knows how to act around Scrappy. Her friends don't. It's like we've seen them together in multiple situations. So that's what it is. So we see the ladies calling people to invite them on this trip, which I was like, oh, y'all really must have ran out of content because Mena said that shit. MTV saw people were pissed and thought they could just keep airing it. And I feel like they edited out scenes where we probably should have had Erica Mena to show them calling people to invite them on this trip. He said he was bringing everybody. So I would assume that they would invite everybody. So why did they have Yandy calling Amy to invite her to the Bahamas? Sierra called Rennie Rucci to invite her as a +1. Spice wanted Shekinah as her +1. I'm just like, y'all already said everybody was supposed to come and everybody would get a +1, the cast. So why is the cast making their +1s the cast? Weird. Anywho, so now we get to the vacation home. It is a vacation home, but just based, if you know real estate, like me and James, we probably watch HGTV more than we need to. I am into homes, property, square footage. I want to know the style, if it's modern. I want to know if you have the style of farmhouse modern, which is a thing. And I think it's beautiful.
Y'all can go on my Facebook and I have a picture with Scott McGilvery, who does income property on HGTV. I watch House Hunters like you would not believe.
That's one of my favorite shows, and I didn't know you watched it.
I watch House Hunters like I'm telling you, at least twice a week. I am on. When I tell you, I love home and decor. That is like one of my favorite things. I'm mad I never stayed in real estate. I might do it again, but I'm mad I never stayed because I would have. I didn't know
I'm battling right
you
now.
could fully. Yeah,
get the
I
real
didn't know you could
estate
fully furnish a
license.
house and then sell it with the furniture. I never knew that because
Yes.
they didn't do that back then. They do. It's popular now. So yeah, I'm looking at. So when I'm looking at this vacation property, and I look at Kirk and Rasheeda, and you can Google
To
Rasheeda
get a
and Kirk's
property
house.
like that in the Bahamas, they would need to be able to get approved for a loan worth multi-millions. Even though it's the Bahamas and there's a different currency, the property is still worth something because they know that it's a location that people are coming for.
It's rare, and let me tell you, it's rare, and there's not enough revenue in that country for it to actually have a standard mortgage, just like a mortgage we would get here in the States. It is very rare.
It's different.
Because,
It's just
and then there's also you also have certain documents and approvals that you have to buy. Your certification of occupancy is a lot higher there. So I'm sorry, no, there's no way I believe that they bought this house.
I'm not saying Kirk and Rasheeda broke because they're not. I'm just saying they've been on this show for 10 years. We have seen nothing new but her wigs.
My thing is, if Candy don't have a house in the Bahamas, I don't believe Kirk and Rasheeda.
And Candy is one of Rasheeda's good friends, but Candy came on TV already worth $35 million. So since then, we have to assume that's doubled, probably tripled with all of her businesses. If she doesn't have it, then I don't think Rasheeda has it. Now, we also see, if you look in the film, I encourage everyone to go watch when they come in the house at the beginning. Kirk and Rasheeda, y'all see the Airbnb lockbox that you put the key in? I used Airbnb for the first time on my birthday this past year. And we had the same lockbox, y'all. I know your number. I know your number. I know your number. Because they never been good at hiding stuff. They couldn't hide the cheating, the fake babies, the adoption. They couldn't hide the fact that she couldn't rap, and they can't hide the fact that this was an Airbnb. Why make them lie? Because nothing's wrong with not being able to afford something like that. It's expensive. They also have a tribe of children from the ones that Kirk's made without her and the ones that he made while with her. So I don't think, because kids are expensive. They say it costs like almost $50K to raise one kid in a year and not, to raise them rich. So, I could understand them not having the money, but stop flexing and faking. Like, that's a problem in our community. Stop flexing. Fuck. Especially
it's
when
like you can't take it with you when you die. So cut it out.
Right. It ain't gonna save your life if you are getting ready to die. Right. Anyhow, so we see them and all of that. Bambi basically ends up saying on the way that Minna did not tell her about the racial slur. And now suddenly Sierra and Bambi do not believe that the racial slur was actually made because of the fact that Erica has Black kids. They know nothing. They know nothing. There's women in our community. I knew a girl from our high school who was friends with a mutual friend of me and James, she was a Caucasian woman who liked to date African American men. And let's just say that when she would get mad at him, she would bring up those slurs. And she liked this girl, like, put it on Facebook, and I had to tell her some years ago, like, hey, you shouldn't say that. To where she would be like, I don't like Black bitches. They be getting at me. They mad. I got one of they men. So I don't know if Erica Mena is thinking that in her head, but having Black kids doesn't mean that you're incapable of being racist. Hell, being Black doesn't mean that you're incapable of being racist.
Well, we have to be careful because we just don't have the power to oppress. That's what makes us not racist. We can be prejudiced, but we can't be racist.
This is true. If you look at the actual definition of what racism is, you have to have the power to make that person feel smaller. It's not just about, what you do.
And when we say power, we mean systematically. We do not mean that you can just whoop their ass. No, we're talking about systematically oppressing someone to the livelihood of their being, which means that you can systematically make somebody poor and homeless. That is what racism attributes to.
Yes, it's all connected. It absolutely is. That's what it is. I had to learn pretty much every way that you could think about racism being in psychology. There's actually a big topic of study in psychology now. It wasn't at first, because if y'all know about Freud, Sigmund Freud, you know that he was a racist sexist.
He was. And all of his books were only geared towards
a disaster,
and white folks.
Yes.
So we know.
You know, as time has moved, psychology now, like I'm graduating in less than 30 days now, and most of the education I got is psychology has been about race and sexuality. You know, the LGBTQ thing. I'm not going to get into that now at all, because I don't want them problems. But all of these things about race, people think they even understand racism and sometimes don't. So it's just a lot.
I just want to say this, because when Bambi and Sierra said this, it made me feel like y'all really need to stop doing this, because just because, as you said, someone has Black children does not mean that they can't be ignorant to someone who is a Black woman, because a lot of the times those women feel invalidated when they get with Black men, because they're not, because people tell them all the time. So that anger that she felt, I felt is deep rooted, because someone said that she didn't deserve Safaree at some point. I'm pretty sure she went through that, especially with her being in the public eye. And that does not mean that in terms you get to turn around and say, well, you a Black monkey because I got him. Because
Erica
a lot of times with a Latino
of dating Black men, we ain't seen her picture.
Yes,
genetic man, her first baby.
And see, that's the thing about Erica. That's why I don't like Love and Hip Hop, Noriega's wife. That's why I don't like her, because it gives me nanny boo boo. I got a Black man.
You don't get to have privilege and like full. You don't get to be put first in the realm of that racial stuff all the time. And I get what you're saying about Noriega's wife, and I think that's probably why they're not back on the show. Because
absolutely, because there's no way she.
So for those who don't know, we're talking about Love and Hip Hop Miami on the previous season. We had Ace Hood, who was a rapper back when me and James was in high school. He was hella popular. And we see his now wife, Sheila. I think it's Sheila Marie. I can't remember the rest of her name. But basically, Noriega, who's also legendary rapper. Legendary. He has a wife. They are both of Hispanic Latino origin. They are considered Afro. Well, he is considered an Afro Latino, and their children are considered Afro Latino and Afro Latina. His wife is noticeably not African American. She basically looks like Minna. She doesn't have attributes of African American people. And the wife got upset because Sheila hosts basically like meditations in a safe space for African American women. And she didn't want Nora's wife to she didn't extend an invite and didn't want her like commenting doing the most while there, because it was supposed to be a safe place for Black people. And she felt, Nora's wife, who was not Black, felt like that was a problem. And Princess, who is Black, but in the old times, she would be considered passing. If y'all know, you know, they were both felt like she shouldn't have been non-invited because she could have used it to learn. And that's why he brought that up, because it's not about you. It's about these women who
and that's my point about Erica.
Erica is not, it's not about you. Honestly, Boo Boo, it's not even about your son. And while everybody here who's defending Erica Mena is saying, oh, well, they said something about her son, how would her Black son, who already does not like her, according to Spice, feel about his mother now using a racial slur? That's not Spice's fault.
Against the very color that he is.
She could have flipped that table and just continued to come after her. But
yeah, so for Bambi and Sierra to say out their own mouths that they didn't believe that, when there is examples all over Love and Hip Hop and basketball.
Sierra believed it. I think Sierra believed it and took it seriously. I feel like Bambi has Sierra on the bandwagon of, well, we got to defend our good sis, because Bambi seems ignorant, and a bitch who's tired enough to be laid up in hot tubs with married men, knowing their wives are not present. It's not even about sleeping with anybody.
Nope, I'm not.
It's true. How can we expect Bambi to think any fucking differently and to have some type of fucking sense?
Y'all, she is going to constantly bring up this hot tub.
I'll never let go of the hot tub. Ask me, y'all. And I'm a Gemini. Y'all know Geminis is sexual as fuck. I like to fuck. How many hot tubs people can say they had me in? They can't. They fucking can't. And there's a lot of other people like that. Ain't no reason that any woman, single, married, indifferent, should be in a room flirting and doing all types of other adult things that you might do with someone you're in a relationship. There's no reason she should have been doing those things in a hot tub with a bunch of men who was in relationships and or married. Why were you there? So we can't expect for Bambi to make the best decisions. Listen, I said it last video. I'm going to say it again. Bambi, you a sellout. At first, I was saying Bambi and Sierra, if y'all excuse this behavior, something's wrong. Sierra didn't. She said, nah, hold on. I'm a Black woman. What she said is not okay. But right. And I will address her, but I haven't spoke to her yet. Bambi, you have spoke to her and you got caught in the lie in the episode. Because earlier in the episode, you said that Minna called you as soon as the issue happened. But then after you say that later on, and I know some time went by, now suddenly I've not heard from her. She's working. Bambi's a sellout. I said it. She'll listen.
I thought I was the only person who caught that. Thank you for validating me. I thought I was for sure the only person who caught. I said, wait, you said she called you after it happened. Now you saying you heard from her.
I've seen so few. Everybody's so concerned about the racial things. They're not paying attention to the right things now. We're forgetting about other things. As a Black woman, one of the darker complexion Black women, I get it because that's someone who's your friend. But in the words of Yandy, I would check my friend and hold her accountable.
Well, see, here's the thing. Yeah, I would check my friend and then I'm going to watch my friend. Because if you said it to Spice, you could say it to me.
Yeah.
I make you mad by telling you something that you don't want to hear. Are you going to call me a monkey? And see, and that's when I'm going to question whether or not I can have you in my space. Because, like I said, I'm a Black man. I may not be the most dark complected Black man, but I'm still one at the end of the day.
When people look at you, they see a Black man. Erica's kids are mixed. Erica's children are mixed. I have a lot of friends who are of mixed origin. There's also people on this cast who are only half Black. But when people look at you, who aren't Black, they see a Black person.
Until I moved to Florida, y'all. Until I moved to Florida. Everybody thought I was Puerto Rican. I don't know why, but
because they feed chocolate like you.
They do. No, they do. But I was like, no, I'm every bit of a Black man.
Especially in your favorite city. You go to the hood in New York. I got cousins up there, the Puerto Rican boys. And let me tell you, they got game too. They was cute. You cute, friend. Do your job. Do your job. Look at that. He said everybody think I'm Puerto Rican. Take it. But either way.
No, because then they're going to start speaking Spanish and that's why I'm going to look stupid.
He's like, I don't know what the hell you're saying. See, if I was lighter complexion, I could have got away with that. I'm pretty good at Spanish. But how you go to high school in Hayward and you struggle with Spanish?
I did American Sign Language. I didn't do Spanish.
Okay.
I wanted to be different. Leave me alone.
My little sister did. She went to Mount Eden also, and she did sign language. I believe she has a degree in it now too. Anyhow, so moving it along, we see that basically Bambi's on some bullshit, and everyone goes to the hotel, which I put weird because everyone having to get sent away from this big 7-bedroom house. Let me know it really is an Airbnb because y'all know they be having limits to how many people could be in that motherfucker. They also can't have parties or anything. So I'm like, Love and Hip Hop cast sitting down at a dinner?
No, this is Kirk and Rasheeda's house. Clearly, they just wanted their own bathroom.
They bullshitting. They ain't nobody. Listen, and they sent everybody away like you're supposed to do when you got a B&B because they don't allow parties no more. Somebody ruined that here in the Bay Area. Anywho, so, I put Sierra and Bambi speaking is ridiculous. Sierra does seem concerned about what Erica said and does understand the ramifications of it. Bambi does not. So everyone goes to dinner and Erica Minna comes up again while at the dinner and Bambi lied as we discussed about talking to Minna. Bambi started to get an attitude. As soon as Spice spoke, Bambi had an attitude. Didn't matter what she said, she had an attitude. So Spice asked when she gets a little hint of that, like, why are you so fake? Because Bambi, you know how you know someone's lying? They say more than they need. And that's what Bambi, she kept saying. Yeah, I haven't really talked to her because she's been working. And the table got quiet. Now, Love and Hip Hop to have crickets for a moment is weird. The whole table was probably looking at Bambi like, really, bitch? But they couldn't say that on camera because it's a cast full of Black people. And to those who have kids and is defending it, it's a cast full of Black people with children who still didn't feel what Spice did warranted that comment from Minna. So they looking at everybody away, as they should. Because y'all ever heard the term Uncle Tom? Bambi, Adiz, Addie Richardson. That's what you give it, girl. Still using that man's last name. Anywho, so basically, Sierra stands up and tries to say that everybody is mad about something that all started from Safaree. She went back to the excuse, the BBMC. I've been calling them this before the comments, the Bitter Baby Mama Club, BBMC. They had to find a way to bring this back to Safaree. Safaree had nothing. First of all, the child doesn't belong to Safaree. Listen, Minna claims that Safaree's telling people things, and that's where these things that Spice even had to say are coming from. Seems like she was more angry at Safaree and probably meant Safaree to be a monkey, in my opinion, than she did Spice. Because these women tried to spin the block so fast and say that it's his fault because this is coming up because of Safaree. Safaree is not responsible for that woman's mouth, even when he's married to her. So y'all bringing in trying to blame this on Safaree. You're just looking like bitter baby mamas. You're proving that stereotype true. But if y'all okay with the monkey thing, of course you'd be okay with that. So Sierra tries to stand and say that, and everyone explains like, nobody is mad at Safaree. This is not his fault. This is Erica's fault. Bambi speaks, and Spice snapped. Now, Spice had been addressing the ladies as a group. She wasn't just addressing Bambi, and this is where I'm calling bullshit on Spice because I'm like, you pulling that, why are you talking to me? And all this stuff. And it's like, Spice, I get why you're mad because this Black woman is looking you in the face and telling you basically that her friend being racist is all because of Safaree. They're looking you in the face and making excuses regardless of what for Erica's racism. That's the best time as a friend to shut the fuck up and let your friend sink or swim on their fucking own. If James comes on here making all sorts of racial slurs towards white people, I understand that they have a horrible history against our people, but I have a channel, a brand, and myself to protect. I'm going to let his ass speak or cut his ass off and leave it there. Apologize for his comments and keep it moving. Why the hell? Why do these women feel they have to do all of this for this person? So Spice ends up snapping because Bambi did try to catch an attitude. And the way that Bambi does it, she does it in kind of like a smug way. She tries to act calm while still throwing the shade.
Very California of her.
Yeah.
Very California.
Very LA. Because if you're from California, you know females in LA, the ones who are from there. Not all the people, because most of LA is people who done moved there, not from there. But the chicks really from LA, messy as fuck. It's
very Malaysia Pargo. That's what it was giving. That's why I was saying you said it from the same neighborhood. Yep, you said it from the same neighborhood.
So it's just a thing. Like LA chicks be weird. It's just the fact. I think Bay Area chicks are way too nice and can also be messy. There's problems everywhere, but LA chicks, specifically in California, if you know, you know, they mean as hell. They rude. They kind of are hard nuts to crack. And usually, once you get through that, they're the nicest people. But they have on that, you know, persona or whatever. So,
I always say it's a suit of armor. That's how I always describe them.
Yeah, because listen, the Bay Area is so different from Los Angeles. I wish y'all could understand. People come to the Bay all the time. Yeah, where the Crips, where the Bloods at? We don't have those here. We got squads and shit, but ain't nobody like repping sets and colors. By the way, I think that's so stupid to put your life on the line for a fucking color. Oh, I'm gonna shoot you because you're wearing blue. Who chose that? That's the stupidest thing. Obviously,
that's a different conversation for a different day.
I know. I'm not with the gang life. I'm just like, that's stupid. But basically, Spice snapped on Bambi. I didn't feel Spice snapping on Bambi was warranted. It was just chaos. But the way the episode ends, I feel like Spice is demonstrating why she needs to be fired as well. It's very hard. I've said this since the beginning, though, of this season, and Jane will tell you, Spice has been getting read by me and roasted like a fucking pig in Hawaii at a luau. I'm trying to tell you. That pig be good too. I don't even eat pork, but I ate pork when I went to Hawaii. It was good. It was good.
You can cheat every now and then.
Child. But no, like I feel like this cast and everything that's happened is just like the hot mess express. Spice, definitely. I know a lot of people are like upset and feel like Mena took the brunt of it. She should. As a Black person, you should want every person who displays racism or unjustified hate towards us, prejudice, bias, whatever the hell you identify. You should want anyone who's done that to be held accountable for that. Not wish them dead like Mena did, but be held accountable and hope that they learn from their mistake and start to change their perspective. So I'm going to say that about Mena. With Spice, you got mad at Bambi. You called her a giraffe. I feel like Spice was mad at Bambi because she was defending that behavior, and I get that. But Spice has a habit, and I said it in like the second episode where she went off on Carly. She doesn't know how to talk to people. Spice does not know how to have an adult conversation. I know people like to have that hood mentality, like, yeah, if a bitch check me, we could get active. It is what it is. Like, I get that. I've had that mindset to where anybody challenge me, I'm gonna fucking fight you, and it is what it is. But after so long, you have to grow up and you have to stop and you have to learn how to express yourself. That's something I personally learned. Trust me, I used to be that person. I'll take off on a bitch for nothing, end up in Santa Rita and come the fuck home and fuck her up again. I get it, but you have to change. You have to grow up. Spice has been on this show ever since her inception on this show. She's done nothing but holler, yell, become parts of controversies, such as trying to do the blackface for her skin that other season. She fights, she goes off, she picked a fight with Carly, she's a bully, and she hits below the belt. Even though she didn't say anything bad about Erica's son, to say to someone your child hates you is hitting below the belt. It doesn't make racism okay, but that's just not okay. So I'm just over Spice. She's a bully. If this was any other network, it wouldn't have got to a point where Erica was able to have this interaction where she used that term, because they would have been got rid of Spice. Spice is a liability, and I'm amazed that she's been able to maintain her record deal and have artists that are wanting to work with her. And I think that because of her status as a Jamaican national versus an American national, I feel like is the only thing that's kind of helping her get by, because Jamaicans do what Black people here seem to struggle with, which is stick together. And yeah, so I definitely don't think that Spice should still be on the show. I'm still mad as hell at Mena, but also not surprised by comments like this from Mena or a woman who looks like her, but Spice also needs to be fired. Calling Bambi a giraffe. I have a friend, shout out to Jasmine. You know Jasmine, obviously, who is taller. She's tall as hell. And being her friend so close for so many years, that impacted her. People making comments calling her a giraffe and things like that. Like, it actually impacted her in a serious, deep way. So you gotta be careful what you say. Everybody's wrong. That's it. That's my recap. Do you have anything you want to add?
MTV let go of the show and give it to someone else.
I think maybe
if it takes,
let go of Love and Hip Hop. It's time now.
Yeah, let go of Love and Hip Hop. Hang this shit up, because we tired of this show. Yeah, because if we can't even get entertainment without it going left, then you don't need to be in charge of the show anymore. Just hang the shit up. MTV, I didn't want you to give it to MTV in the first place, because I already told y'all the treatment that Black people get from MTV is not cool. And I've said this before. I'm going to keep saying it until someone at MTV hears me. I have seen how y'all treat Black people on this show. I do not like it. And when I found out Love and Hip Hop was going to MTV, I said it to her from day one. I said, I know what this shit is going to do, and look what happened. And I said this.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say. It was a great episode for the long, very educational, and then it got ignorant. So there we go.
Yeah, well, we'll try and keep going, but these recaps are wearing me out. I'm on episode 13. Hopefully the reunion or something is coming soon, but please don't be on the internet defending racism publicly just because you feel that children are disrespected or children come up. It's never okay. It's also not okay to bring up people's children in arguments. I think that as a whole, as African American people, there are a lot of areas of improvement that we can make. And yeah, that's it. So we will be back next week. I'm not sure if we'll be doing recaps over 2 days or 1 day. I'll figure it out and then get the flyers and everything out there. But we will be back next week to do Love and Hip Hop, both of them, Salt Lake City. I think Bell Collective is coming back.
Yeah, I heard Bell Collective will be back the next following Friday, so I have to keep that out. So that's on my channel. If you guys want to watch Bell Collective, it is a great time there. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel so you can be able to be on the listing to catch Bell Collective. I have picked up Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you guys are into that show, definitely watch our recaps. Real Housewives of Atlanta is going away. They will be replaced with Real Housewives of Potomac, and I also will be picking up Married to Medicine, airing November 5th. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel so you don't want to miss.
Full schedules. Anywho, thank you for being here, James, and thank you to everyone for watching.
Thank you for having me.
If you're watching afterward, we will see everyone back on Saturday for my Love During Lockup finale recap.
Yes, y'all make sure y'all tune in. That live is awesome. Make sure y'all tune up. She's doing a great job.
Thank you. Anywho, adios and good evening. Bye-bye.